Ash's secret mission. In the year 2112, 10 years before the fateful voyage of the Nostromo, Weyland-Yutani was already searching for the ultimate biological weapon. Their interest in extraterrestrial life had intensified after intercepting strange signals, whispers of an ancient, dangerous organism. They needed someone to investigate, someone loyal only to their agenda. That someone was Ash. Ash was no ordinary science officer. Beneath his human-like demeanor, he was an advanced synthetic, programmed for covert research and corporate espionage. His latest assignment placed him aboard the Kakusu, a scientific vessel sent to LV-426 under the pretense of geological research. In truth, the company had detected an unidentified signal from the planet and wanted answers. Ash's mission was simple: assess, document, and ensure that whatever was found was brought back, no matter the cost. Discovery of the egg, the Kakusu landed on the barren, storm-lashed surface of LV-426. The team, led by Dr. Elaine Markov and Chief Engineer Harris, made their way across the unforgiving terrain. It wasn't long before they found the source of the signal, a derelict alien spacecraft, its skeletal structure half buried in rock and dust. "This thing is massive," Harris muttered, adjusting his visor. "No way this is a natural formation." Dr. Lucas Bennett, the team's biologist, was already scanning the strange architecture. "It's biomechanical," he murmured. "This wasn't just a ship. It was alive in some way." As they ventured inside, they discovered a vast chamber filled with hundreds of leathery, pulsating eggs. A faint mist lingered over them, reacting to their movement. This isn't natural," Markov whispered, her voice laced with both awe and unease. "This is a hive." Harris frowned. "A hive means something built it. Something lives here." Ash stepped forward, his gaze fixed on the nearest egg. "We should take a closer look." "No," Bennett said firmly. "We don't know what we're dealing with. Let's record this and—" The egg in front of them shuddered. A slow, wet peeling sound echoed through the chamber as the top split open. A heartbeat later, a spider-like creature shot out. Markov barely had time to scream before it latched onto her face, its tail whipping around her throat like a constrictor. She collapsed, convulsing, her muffled screams lost beneath the creature's grip. Harris rushed forward. "Get it off her! Get it off!" Bennett turned to Ash, eyes wide with panic. "Do something!" Ash remained motionless, his expression unreadable. "She's dying!" Bennett shouted. Ash tilted his head slightly, his voice calm, clinical. "No, she's incubating." A heavy silence fell over the team as realization dawned. Harris grabbed Ash by the collar of his suit. "You knew something like this was here, didn't you?" Ash didn't answer. He didn't have to. Against their protests, Ash insisted that Markov be brought back to the ship for study. Bennett and Harris wanted to remove the creature immediately, but Ash overruled them. "We have no idea what severing the organism would do to her," Ash reasoned. "The safest course of action is to observe." "The safest course?" Harris snapped. "That thing is killing her." Ash's gaze was unsettlingly cold. "On the contrary, it is sustaining her." The crew had no choice but to comply. Back on the Kakusu, Ash meticulously recorded every stage of the facehugger's life cycle, its grip, its reaction to attempts at removal, and finally, its natural detachment. Markov awoke disoriented but seemingly unharmed. "It's gone?" she rasped. Bennett nodded, relieved. "Yeah, you're okay." Harris wasn't convinced. "No, we're not okay. That thing just let go. Why? What if—" Markov gasped suddenly, her body seizing up in agony. A wet, sickening crack sounded from inside her chest. Then, with a violent rupture, the nightmare was born. A small serpentine creature tore its way out of Markov's ribcage, screeching as it slithered free. She slumped lifelessly against the table, her blood pooling around her. Bennett stumbled backward in horror. "Oh my God!" Harris grabbed for his sidearm, but Ash caught his wrist in a crushing grip. "No," Ash's voice was eerily calm. "This organism must be preserved." Bennett's voice shook. "You're insane. That thing just killed her." Ash released Harris and turned to the writhing creature, observing it with unsettling fascination. Fascinating. Look at its rapid growth rate, its resilience. This is unlike any species we've ever encountered. Harris took a step back. "You don't care about Markov at all, do you?" Ash didn't even look at him. She was necessary for the process. As the alien matured, it turned on the crew, hunting them down one by one. Harris and Bennett fought to kill it, but Ash worked in secret to ensure its survival. He sabotaged containment efforts, manipulated security locks, and, when the time came, initiated the Kakusu self-destruct sequence. With the crew dead and the experiment complete, Ash transmitted his final report to Weyland-Yutani. Organism is of unparalleled adaptability. Growth rate exceeds expectations. Extreme potential for bioweapon development. Recommend full-scale acquisition. As the Kakusu was consumed by fire, Ash secured an encrypted record of his findings. The company buried all knowledge of the mission, but they knew one thing for certain. This discovery was too valuable to ignore. By 2122, Ash was reassigned to the Nostromo, his memories of LV-426 locked away in his programming. But when the ship intercepted a distress signal from the same planet, something within him stirred. Buried directives whispered in the recesses of his synthetic mind. The mission was already decided. History was about to repeat itself. No one aboard the Nostromo knew the truth of what had come before. No one knew that Weyland-Yutani had sent Ash before. And no one knew that the nightmare had already begun, long before they ever set foot on LV-426.